So far this week, getting ready for Miss State?
They've been really good. I thought they were focused yesterday, excited for an opportunity to go play in a really tough environment to play. I don't think we've got anybody on our team that has been there to play a game before. So they were great yesterday and good today. Work day, probably wasn't as much energy and juice as I would like, but they practice physical and they practice hard and got a tough defense to prepare for, very unique in some of the things they do. Kind of not normal for a lot of the SEC teams. I mean, some of the SEC teams have started to copy what their defense does from watching them. And then obviously the offense is very unique. So our guys have been focused.
Kirby, you talk so much about Javon Bullard's toughness. Going back to recruiting him, I guess how did you see that kind of show up, and how much did that play into y'all, deciding to take him inside?
Well, his film was to show the toughness. He tackled well. You can tell people who run through tackles don't fear contact. He was a fearless player, and then he did a lot of workouts during COVID, sent us tapes, and kept working out more and more, which was indicative of I want to be there. It's important to me, and parents have a military background. He's a tough kid, and we thought he was a good fit for our program and a good football player, and he's been that.
Coach, whenever y'all played Stanford, I can't remember the number you quoted as far as that quarterback, how quickly he got rid of the football. How similar will that be with Rodgers this week as far as the timing he gets rid of the football?
Well, I don't know. It just probably depends on the rush, right? He has not held it long a lot of games, but a lot of that's contingent on how many people you rush. We thought we had a good plan for him the last time we played him. It was his first start at quarterback, I guess, and he held it some that game. He's held it some this year. I don't know the average, but if you rush 3 or 4 or 5, it changes how long he holds it.
Yeah, Kirby, what's been the practice availability this week of Robert Beal, A.D. Mitchell, Emeritus Mims, and Xavier Truss?
They've all been great. They've all been super. I think hopeful that all those guys will be able to help us or play. AD's probably the furthest behind those guys. He hasn't taken reps, but he's been out there running, doing exercise stuff. The rest of the guys are all repping.
Kirby, you mentioned Kenny and Dejan have just been banged up. Have they been limited at all getting ready for Miss State?
Yeah, Kenny's been limited some. He's got another deep thigh contusion. It's really the same one he had twice over. He's had it 2 games. I forget which 2 games coming out of, and he's been limited. But the rest of the guys have been going.
When you look at Mississippi State's offense and you see Justin Robinson now, how has he progressed in their offense?
He's playing one of their outside receiver spots. He's made some plays for them. They've gone to him quite a bit in terms of screens, vertical passing game, and underneath stuff.
Other questions?
Kirby, with a younger team, I guess you don't know how they're going to handle stuff. And obviously, they've gotten up for a couple key games this year. What do you think of the maturity level of this team and the ability to kind of keep going as they have a target on their back again?
Yeah, I feel like we've had a target on our back all year. I really don't know if that changes, right? I mean, when you won the national championship the year before, there's a target on your back from day one, and that doesn't change regardless of your record, your venue you play in, or anything. But we talk about toughness and DNA travels. And if you have good DNA, it travels with you. You don't do all these exercises we do to work on composure to not use it. So we anticipate it's an opportunity to flex our composure muscle, resiliency muscle, connection muscle, and our toughness muscle. So we don't do all that lifting and preparing to not use it. So I expect our guys to use it, and if we win or if we need it, you got to be prepared for that. So it's a really tough place to play, and they got a really good team.
With how much Mississippi State passes, are y'all hoping for opportunities to get to the quarterback?
Well, yeah, I think you always do, but it's not just the passing with them. You know, you got to stop the run, and they're usually right. Meaning, if you don't have enough in the box, they're running. If you got too many in the box, they're throwing, and that's a favorable box for them. So, and then the passes aren't like he drops back there and holds the ball for a long time. He gets the ball out pretty quick, which is tough to get sacks on.
What have you seen out of the running backs and Dylan Johnson and Joavius Marks that could be, threatening to your defense?
What's threatening is the holes they create, the space. You know, they space you out and then gash you, so their runs are downhill, hard-nosed, tough physical runs. They look for space and they hit it. You know, they're not like traditional runs. You know, it's not like the runs you see every day. They're different runs, and usually when they're running them, there's space because people are in opened up sets, and you got people out covering everybody, so they get some good run boxes.
Kirby, we'll have a chance to talk to Kamari in a little bit. Just how far do you feel like he has come along in his first year start?
He's a tough kid, really physical, prideful. A kid from Tuscaloosa. He was right over there near Starkville, and he's a really hard worker. I mean, I've known him since he was a 9th or 10th grader, and he loves football, and I think he's improved a lot.
Coach, I know we ask about different players, all the time, but Austin Vlasky, I know he's played, I think, pretty much every game. He usually won't goal line. Just what does he bring to the program?
Elite toughness. He's a tough kid. Man, he plays hard. He's one of those guys that Coach Searles gives him a way to do something, and he does it exactly right. He does everything you ask him to do. He's a core player in our program, and embodies the toughness part.
Yeah, speaking about the offensive line, what have you made of the improvements and progress that unit has made, even with dealing some injuries and some reshuffling in recent weeks?
I think they're playing with more confidence. They're focused. There's a lot of depth there. They played well. I mean, I think they played well throughout the year, and hope that the best is still ahead for them, because we can certainly get better with our communication and how we go about things. But the physicality they play with has been good.
How do you feel about your kick coverage unit with the return they have Griffin is having a big year?
Yeah, he's really good. He's really good, and they have a really good scheme around him. I mean, he sticks it up in there. A lot of your kickoff return success comes off of a fearless returner. He is fearless, but they have a front line and back end group that are really coordinated. They do a great job on their kick return unit. So we've worked overtime on that, and hopefully we can be successful.
In your post-game interview with CBS on Saturday after the win, you mentioned that you didn't take any players out of the transfer portal. I don't want to relitigate, why that was the case, but does the success that you guys have had this year, with the fact that you sort of bet on the guys you had in-house and the guys that have been in this program for multiple years, make this year all that more enjoyable? The success that you've had all that more enjoyable this year?
I don't know that it's more enjoyable because we did or didn't, because I enjoy the guys we have taken. I love Tyke, and I loved when Mo Smith was here, and I don't even know whoever else that we've had come. So I've loved that, but I just think that there's a lot of thought that that's the way to success, and it certainly can help you and it can hurt you. It's one way or the other, but we tried to get kids out of there. We tried to get a couple out of there and didn't get them, but it's getting the right ones. It's not how many or any. It's, does the guy fit your culture? And I'm proud of the kids that stayed here and competed and wanted to improve and get better. Because we had quite a few leave too.
Yeah, you mentioned the increased confidence from the offensive line. In your opinion, is that coming from practice? Is it coming from better results in the games, or is it maybe a little bit of both?
I don't know. Really don't know what the questions are directed at, because I feel like they like the Oregon game was one of their best games. The last game was one of their best games. They've played really consistent to me. Missouri might be the one outlier, but we had some runs in Missouri that spit out, and we coughed up the ball and lost a little momentum. But outside of that, I think they played really well. So I think they continue to improve.
Coach, I know you just love these random look back type questions, but 25 years ago here, Coach Donnan brought a steamroller onto the field, guessed to fire you guys up. You remember that day? Just kind of what was your reaction?
Everybody always talks about that. Bubba always brings it up when we have get-togethers. But I swear I don't remember that. I mean, but everybody talks about it. So I know it happened. I'm not refuting that it happened. I just don't remember it. But that was his. He was that way. He liked to have the moments, the catchy moments, the something to remember the game by, something that motivates you to change it up. He was an inspiration in terms of doing stuff like that. So he said we were going to steamroll him. And he came out on a steamroll. I think he came out on the practice field with it.
So you never thought about bringing some kind of form implement yourself out on the field?
No. I hadn't had any gadgets like that.
Any other questions? We got one more up there. Okay, take the last one.
Non-football question. I'm just curious, because it's election day, with your players, did you, as a staff, give them time to vote and all that stuff, in the lead up to today, even with the voting, or how much is that part of the conversations?
Probably not enough of a conversation that I would like for it to be. I know in the past we've really pushed hard and gotten a lot of free time to go over and vote and do things, but several of our guys reached out again and asked where they could, and a lot of them early voted in regards to that. And I think it's really important that they understand the importance of it, and whether it's a presidential election or state elections and things like that, it's really important to do it and educate them on it, and a lot of our guys have done it.
Thank you.